Alright, hey guys, my name is Cosmic Elder and bringing you another video about League of Legends. I apologize for it being so long since I made a video, but I had to take a break. I had work and other stuff that got in the way. But since the last time I made a video, a lot of things have happened. There's been new patches, there's been new mechanics kind of added to the game, I guess. Tom Kench's mechanics are different and stuff like that. But there's also been a lot of nerfs, a lot of buffs, and overall, a big amount of controversy. And one of those controversies, the biggest one that I know of, is the Sandbox mode controversy. For you that don't know it, it's a Sandbox mode is just a basically shell of League of Legends. You could have minions spawn, but you basically control what's going to be going down, and then you have zero cooldowns on anything. So you go around and you can flash walls, you can practice your skills, shots, all that type of stuff. And Riot has told people that there's no need for this. There's a small group of people that really want it, and the people that, other than the professionals that are arguing that we need it, are arguing for stupid reasons. These are people saying, hey, we need this because without this mode I can't go pro. And that's not a good reason to say, hey, we need this mode, because all you're doing is putting through that stereotype of, hey, I'm stuck in bronze because my team's bad mode. Like, this mode is becoming, this is more reason for me to complain at my team, because if you can just sit there and you constantly are practicing in this thing, you get to that point your mechanics are phenomenal by your own standards. Like, you've practiced day in, day out in this mode. Then you go into ranked, and all of a sudden, you're still that same toxic dickhead that's stuck in Bronze 5 because you yourself don't understand how teamwork actually applies in this game. All that we've done is give you another reason to blame your team. You've now practiced this mode. Your team doesn't practice in this mode, and all of a sudden, their fault is because they didn't practice this mode, so now they're all bad, and because of that, your team loses. Like, that's not the reason your team's losing. The reason your team's losing is because you're a toxic asshole that you need to correct this first. It all boils down to the attitude of a League of Legends player. If the player thinks they're better than everyone and doesn't understand their own flaws, that's why you're losing. That's why you suck at this game. Not nearly because your team sucks. A lot of my friends will call me out on it. I call out my teams a lot because it's easier for me to find their problems. And all the time that I call them out, I'm actually calling them out for legitimate problems. But I'm also not calling myself out for the problems that I'm making. So at one point, I had a person that was constantly watching my games. I'd tell him what I saw everybody else doing wrong, and then he'd tell me what I did wrong in the game, in which I'd then evaluate myself and get better. I went from Silver 1 like 2 months ago to Gold 2 currently. And I'm still on the climb, which means, I've actually done work, and I've improved myself, making myself better by doing things to adjust how my play is affecting others in the game. And now, if I can do this without a Sandbox mode, and these people can become pro without a Sandbox mode, what's the real need for the Sandbox mode? Thus far, the only argument I've heard for the real justification of needing Sandbox mode is that you have flash on 0-second cooldown, which means you can just flash between the over and over and over and over again. If that's the case, that's a lot of wasted time on Riot's part to make this entire mode just to have people flashing Dragon Pit, flashing Baron Pit, flashing this wall, flashing that wall. If that's all you're going to use it, like, this seems stupid. This is the only argument I've heard, though, is that we need this for Flash. Because everything else, you have to practice, like, mechanic-wise, everything else has to be at the same time of the game. Like, you have to know when to heal. You have to know when to use this ability, that ability. For instance, Vayne. She's all mechanics. The champion, you need to know how to tumble, what to do with the tumble, how to poke your opponent effectively without being poked. Very much the same as every other champion that's an ADC, but to a higher degree of it because she needs to know, because her range is shorter. She needs to have her positioning perfect for it. Now, having the Sandbox mode, sure, it's going to teach you how to tumble, I guess, more. I don't know really how to teach you how to do automatic hit abilities, but whatever. Like, you're not going to be able to practice champions like that. All you can practice is throwing skill shots from Ezreal the entire time constantly, which doesn't help you in game. Cool, now you can land them, but now you're also used to doing damage every fucking time that you shoot a Q, you have a Q again, and it's basically teaching you to play Earth. Great, Sandbox is going to teach you to be the best Earth player on Earth, but you're not going to be that person that's ready to play in Ranked, because now you're accustomed to playing in a mode where everything's given to you. You now have every tool you need to make sure you don't fuck up, but then you go into the game and you don't always have that. For instance, you've now practiced flashing this wall, this wall, this wall, this wall, the same wall over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. You're very good at flashing dragon. What happens that one time when you go for the flash and the thresh flays you and keeps you from going over the wall? Your flash isn't preparing you for this. Flashing over the dragon pit numerous times is not preparing you for the add-in of opponents. Even if you add in opponents in that game mode, you have infinite flash, so do they. They'll just chase you and do that shit too. You have infinite cooldowns, so do they. Like, there's nothing about this game mode that makes me think that you're gonna improve from it greatly. There's no need for this mode when this game is based around teamwork. Your individual skill can be hindered by, having bad teams, but your own growth in this game is knowing how to play with bad teams and still beating the other team. Now, a lot of people are going to argue that I'm an idiot and that I'm using wrong terms and that everything that I'm making an opinion of here is incorrect. They're entitled to their opinions, but think about it this way. These are the best people out there aren't known as, hey, Bjergsen by himself just beat all of CLG. He still has people around him. He has Dyrus, he has Santorin, he has Wild Turtle, and he has Lustboy, all of which are on his team. I don't give a fucking rat's ass how good Bjergsen is. He's amazing, yes. He kicks his lane's ass all the time. But in that same method, he also needs, in that same way that he kicks their ass, he's got to do that to every other lane, along with his the people on his team. If it was just him there in the mid lane, what do you think the opposing team does? They just put all 5 people there and keep him dead. In which, if they don't have to worry about somebody else pushing, bam, they've just won. So him being the best mechanical person on that team doesn't mean jack shit unless the other people on his team can at least hold their own decently enough so that he can carry them. No one like mentions it in that manner. Nobody talks about, hey, this guy has to be decent because even though this guy's great, these guys have to be at least half decent because they're not losing the game for him. It's so easy for one person to give the other team the game because, say, a 4-on-5, the other team now has a person advantage, they get pressure advantage, they have the advantage of the map. Unless they are absolute garbage players, they have the advantage. So the reason being, because they have more people. That one person, they could have 3 absolute garbage people on their team, but they have 2 decent people on their team, opposed to your 4 garbage people, they're going to win. Reason being, those 3 people that you can kick their ass of are being killed by you and you're trading maybe 1 for 3. You now still have to, you're injured and you have to fight the other 2 people. You can't do it without having costs. Unless you build a very strong 4-man team, 4v5 is very difficult to pull off. And everybody complains about this, AFKers and stuff like that. If those are the problems, then Riot needs to focus more on those problems of the AFKers and the people that DC. So they have to build the infrastructure of the game to make the game a better environment so that you can get better and that other people can get better. Having a sandbox mode is not going to guarantee you're going to get better. All it's going to guarantee is that you can flash a wall better than other people. When that one person stops you from flashing the wall, what's that sandbox mode going to be doing then? It's useless. It's done nothing for you if you don't have other environmental hazards inhibiting you and teaching you how to react to those environment and to those decisions. Now, I'm going to be making more videos, guys. I'm going to try to be on a more consistent schedule of at least 1 video a week. I'm going to try for more than that, maybe. And one of the biggest things that's inhibiting this is I've been working a lot, and recently in the past couple of weeks I hadn't been, but I'd been getting really sick and stuff like that. So from now on I'm going to be trying to make more videos. I'm going to be making more videos like this on opinions of stuff that's going around the League community, opposed to actually like detailed instructions of how to become better at the game. Nobody seemed to like it. It wasn't a video series going anywhere. I do apologize that I don't have a lot of gameplay in the background, and I never have gameplay in the background. Reason being, my computer is kind of shitty. There's no other description of it. This is a garbage computer. This is an old computer that I'm using that has enough ability to play League of Legends and has enough ability to record this. What you see here is what I can record. Unfortunately, I can't really record much else without losing so much FPS that it looks just even worse than it already does. So, just to wrap it all up, I will also be making this into a new series, along with I'll be starting a podcast down the road. I don't know where, when, and why. Well, I do know the why, and the why is that I enjoy talking to people, and I enjoy talking about League of Legends with people, and so I want to share this with everybody else, with some funny comments made by me, and some dumbassery also made by them. So, if it makes y'all laugh, it makes y'all interested, that will be happening here eventually. The podcast will be called the Dangerous Game Podcast. Look for it here on my channel. Thank you all for watching. Everybody have a great day now.